Hey there, it's Nathalie, and I want to show you how I made this composition book cover. So the composition books you can get like at the Dollar Tree or at Walmart. They're about $1, and I've just used some fabric that I had on hand, and these are scraps that I catch whenever when I'm serging. And so I've got scraps and some tulle, and anyway, I want to show you. I don't use salvage. I didn't have salvage on hand, and so I just used the tulle. So let me show you how we're going to stitch this up. It'll be a kind of a cute, fast, easy, cheap, fast, and easy project. I want to make a cover for this little composition book. So I've cut my fabric. It's bigger than what I need. It's 18 by 12, and it's way bigger than what I need, but I want to leave myself some room for maybe if it kind of draws up a little bit. So what I'm going to do, because I make my silk flags and I use a serger, okay, the other piece of fabric that I have is this tulle, and this one is just kind of an ivory color, but I'm going to use some orangey colors, and these are, it's not sari ribbon, but it's like whenever I dye my silks and then I go to serge the edges of it, this is the little edges that come off of there. And so I'm just going to put some of these out here, and I think I want to kind of stay with like the fire look. If it has some white in it, that'll be okay. I see there's a little bit of metallic in this. That was some streamer. Let me pull this out. I don't want that interfacing stuff in there. So put those, and there's some threads, and that's okay. So my silk flags are in my Etsy store. I make flags for worship, flags and streamers for worship. And so like this, like I said, this is the serged off edges of some of that silk stuff. Let's put a little bit over here. So I have it pinned together in several places. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and do some free motion stitching. My machine has a special attachment just for free motion stitching, and also a place where I can lower the feed dogs, those little, so I don't have the teeth going back and forth. And and I don't want to stitch it too fast, because if I stitch it too fast, then I get these. So I changed and put in yellow thread. Alright, this is what it looks like so far. Let me pick this up and so you can see some of the little detail on it with the little stitches and stuff. So I am going to decide which I want to be the front. And I think I want this to be the front. At this point, it doesn't really matter because it's the same front and back. So, okay. Anyway, so I'm going to turn this over. And I have a piece of dressmaker's chalk that I've had since the 80s. And I'm going to mark around the edges with that. Then I don't know how close I need to make my stitches and that sort of thing, you know, where that lays exact. All right, and so this is I want to make a little turn under. This is where I'm going to make my liner to come to about here and here. I turned this edge over, you know, about a ½ an inch and then stitched it, just kind of the width of my presser foot. And I've done the 2 pieces. And I've marked my the edges where I want my stitching to be. And I've also, this little gap that's going to be at the spine of the book, I marked that with pins, but I'm going to turn it to the front side now. And so here are my pins on the front. This is how it looks from the front. And I am going to put the right sides together. So here we go. And here and here. So this is going to be on the inside. This will end up being on the inside. That's how I will slide my composition book in. And I may have this, I may need to scoot it back a little bit, but I don't think so. Anyway, I'm going to try this, and if I have to scoot it back, well, I'll just do it again. So I'm going to pin these in place, catch these corners. Now I'm going to stitch it from the other side, not this side. So I'll probably have to move these pins again. But that will be okay. And then I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and stitch around this like this, okay? So sometimes I can be such a ditz, man. I had my camera on pause when it should have been recording, and recording when I was like showing pictures of the floor and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, not using that. So I think I left off at where I was stitching around, and so once I got this finished, I turned it right side out, and there's a couple of things that I want to show you. One is I went ahead and first off I stitched this little section down that goes in the spine. I did a little top stitch on there, like right there, and then after I put it on, I decided to go ahead and stitch all the way around with a tiny little stitch, right, not a little stitch, it was a regular stitch, you know, like a 3, but it's really close to the edge. And so now this is going to be the front of, like the front cover, not just the front of the cover itself, but the front of the composition book. So, and the easiest way to do this is to put both of the flaps in at the same time. So I'm going to have to adjust here so that you can see. So slide, this is my front cover, so I'm sliding that in. I'm going to flip this over and flip this back, and then here's the back cover. Slide that in. It's just easier than putting it all on the front and then all on the back. And then I can just slide this in. There we go. And so there's how that turned out looking, just like that. And I may come back and put a little ribbon or a bookmark, attach a bookmark like right in here. But for right now, this is going to work. This is the first one of these that I've done. And I got this, I saw on Stitches by Julia. I'll put that in, I may have already said that, but I'll put that in the description box below. But this is the one I did. She used Solvay. I didn't use Solvay. I just used the Tulle and then just did the top stitching, and I think that this turned out pretty cute. There's the close-up of it. So hey, if you enjoyed this video, give me a little thumbs up, you know the drill. Subscribe, give me a like. I'd love to hear your comments and suggestions, because I don't know everything under the sun. So yeah, anyway, hop over to my hall closet, subscribe over there. You can get into my resource library and get you some free printables. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.